like what is post-processing, and then we went through the basic limitations of a 3D printing process that make post-process mandatory for most of the 3D printing processes. And now we will talk about the specific post-processing operations required for metal additive manufacturing or metal 3D printing. So basically, as we saw that the biggest limitation in 3D printing are surface roughness, uh, your dimensional inaccuracies, and then residual stresses. For residual stress, we do stress relieving, and that stress relieving is basically depending on the material. So every material, for example, aluminum alloys will have a specific heat treatment cycle for relieving the stresses. Stainless steel will have a separate cycle, heat treatment cycle for relieving the stresses. And similarly, titanium, Inconel, each of the materials used in metal 3D printing will have its own cycle for stress relieving, which is largely influenced by the conventional heat treatment cycles used for similar alloys. Then for accuracies, we will go ahead for machining. Now, machining can be varied from turning, milling to grinding, honing. So, whatever conventional machining processes are applicable based on the tolerances that needs to be produced, the same are applicable for a 3D printed part. Once the metal 3D printed part is out of the machine, out of the 3D printing machine, then it can be treated just as a conventional component and the machining processes can be applied on it. Now, what is interesting or what is a new vertical for post-processing for metal additive manufacturing is the surface finishing techniques. So let's talk about the surface finishing techniques in a bit more detail. One of the very popular technique is polishing, which is basically nothing but uh, using some emery papers, filers, your diamond paste, and then you're finishing your or polishing your component. That gives you a very shiny finish. It depends on how much you are polishing, what techniques you are using to polish. Accordingly, you will get the surface finish. Usually, polishing is uh, done when you want to have a shiny finish on your surface. Then short blasting. Now, short blasting does not give you a shiny finish, but it improves the surface roughness. It reduces the RA value or RG value of any component produced through metal 3D printing. Short blasting ke liye there are various techniques. So in this video itself, we will go through one quick video of an OEM where we will try to understand the short blasting, how it is done, what are the different variables there. And then we have tumbling. Tumbling is a vibromechanical finishing method where you put the part amongst large size ceramic granules of around 8 10 mm dia, 30 mm, 20 mm height, and then they rub against each other and they rub against the component which has to be finished in a vibratory motion and hence provide the desired surface finish. Now, what you see on your screen is a highly polished component. uh, After 3D printing, you get the component which is having grainy finish, powdery finish, or a matte finish, we can say. And then, if you want to achieve a surface finish like this, what you see on your screen, then you need to go for post processing methods such as polishing. Now, some other post processing methods, surface finishing methods, which will yield you similar kind of results, but you need to choose depending on your application and depending on your uh, budget, economics, and everything, lead time. One more such process is micro machining process, which is being into the industry only after 3D printing came or because of 3D printing, I would say. Now, micro machining process uses uh, chemically catalyzed abrasive materials, micro abrasive materials, to remove material from the surface and to provide a shiny finish. Then we have abrasive flow machining. Now, abrasive flow machining is a way of improving the surface finish of internal channels and cavities by passing a highly viscous slurry based abrasive media. So there are abrasive media, diamonds particles, abrasive media, which are mixed in a paste. This is something like more viscous than the toothpaste that we use. So abrasive flow machining, but this is only used for your internal area. That is the catch here. Chemical leaching is another chemical based method which helps in removing the surface roughness of a component by passing the chemical through internal channels. So these are mostly used for conformal cooling channels or channels in electric motor casings or other type of casings provided for the purpose of cooling. Those channels can be cleaned using chemical leaching. Again, you have on your screen one example, which is a titanium knee implant manufactured, this is a cobalt chromium knee implant manufactured through laser powder bed fusion method. And if you see that the surface roughness in as printing condition is around 21.02 microns, whereas the surface finish after taking it through number of post processing operations is RA 3.03. So yes, post processing can make a huge difference in the properties, whether it be mechanical or surface related. Now let's look at a small video. This small video was made by EOS Additive Minds. They wanted to display the differences between short blasting and short peening. So now I will please ignore that part. Just look at this video to understand how short blasting and short peening is done, and what are the different kind of medias that are used here. So this is the how the chamber inside a short blasting media looks. Now in blasting, what we do is we take the object, we use a nozzle from which media is coming out with compressed air. This media can be nutshell, ceramic, steel blade, silicon carbide, aluminum oxide. Now when we talk about this media, this particular media gives you uh, all the different kind of medias are used to provide different kind of surface finish. Now in the short blasting method, one person has to hold the part and we have to make sure that the distance is good enough so that neither it is over removing the components nor it is what do we say, under removing the materials. So nutshells, ceramic, steel beads, silicon carbide nutshells are used to provide very glossy finish to the part. Sorry, not glossy, it is used to provide a white finish to the part. It helps in cleaning and brightening of the surface, whereas ceramics are used for surface compression and providing a metallic matte finish, shiny look to the component. We will have a look at few of the samples after this. Steel beads. Now steel beads are again used for surface compression. So they not only improve the surface roughness, they also help in providing compressive stresses to the component, which is very much desirable in order to improve the fatigue life of the components. Silicon carbide, again, it will give you a smoothing finish and a matte look. Now, blasting is something which is used for cleaning and smoothing, which we will be mostly we are using in post processing techniques. Whereas if we talk about short peening, it is basically done with a slightly more compressed air pressure, so that it actually hammers the surfaces down and induces compressive stresses on the surfaces. Now, the purpose of doing this is to, as we know that in 3D printing, we have to clean the surfaces, smooth and change the appearance. But what we need to do is first, we need to target specific areas and make the different kind of finishes, different kind of surfaces, which are having different kind of surface finishes. We need to make sure that all of them are nearly in the same range, and then we can do a overall process. Now here you can see that there are different kinds of finishes that has come up using different kind of media. So that is how much difference a media makes. So yeah, this is about short blasting. You have seen the operation. Now let's talk about the polymer post processing. Now polymer post processing is very simple. You get the part, you remove the surface burrs, you smoothen the component using emery paper, You apply putty to it, you again further smoothen it, use emery paper and make the surface very fine, and then you go for a round of primer and painting. So the same thing we will see using this video. There is a 3D printed part which is having different kind of roughness at the different sections because it's a layer by layer method, and the depending on what region we are talking about, the surface finish is varying by a lot. Now, if we have to post process this, the first step would be to making the surface finish as uniform as possible as we can using manual finishing methods such as an emery paper or uh, yeah, some pneumatic tools which are used for polishing of surfaces. But we should take care that the tools are favorable for the plastic that we are dealing with. That also comes in concern. Then once all the sanding has been done, initial sanding, surface preparation, we apply putty to it. Once the putty dries, again we need to do sanding on it, and the sanding is done. Now after doing putty and second round of sanding to remove that excess putty, the surface will be very 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 smooth already. Now it's time that we can go ahead for our primer applications, and then we can start printing the part. So now the part is being taken up for printing. This is the first round of primer, white primer that is applied. Then the black color, that is the desired color in this case. Now, once the black color has been given to the part, we might want to apply different colors to different sections of the component. So what we do there is that whatever area we want to be remaining in black color itself, we mask those particular areas and apply a different paint on the other areas of the part. So now this part is going through another second round of painting where the masked areas will not have that painting, whereas the areas which are exposed will get a coat of the new paint that has been spread on it. And once the it is all dried up, we remove the mask tapes, and we get the final part that we have to use for the end application. So I'll just show you how the part looks like. Yeah. So this is how the part will look like. So that was about post processing, and by this you complete the last step of the additive manufacturing workflow, which is post processing. I hope this is useful for you and you will use it in your future applications. Thank you.